Hello, I'm PX and welcome back to the top 5 videos. Then let's go through the top 5 Minecraft leaks of all time. This is something I figured I'd go through given that we just had a huge Minecraft leak which was about new combat in the game that literally, made the whole community revolt, and honestly, the fact that it was leaked changed the course of the game. It's now not going to be developed just because of that leak, and I figured given this leak was so prolific, I'd go over some of the other huge leaks of Minecraft's history because there have been some pretty big ones, even bigger than that, and I wanted to go through them in today's video. So hopefully you do all enjoy it. You can like it if you do like it because it helps out the channel, and let's say you do like the top 5 videos, and let's get straight into it, shall we? And let's start with the 5th biggest leak of all time, which is going to have to be the new combat thing we just mentioned. You might wonder how that's only number 5 on this list, but we'll get into that later. But for now, let's just mention why this was such a big deal of a leak, because it not only confirmed that combat was going to be removing the left hand, 1.14 was going to be the update where Steve had a stroke and his left hand stopped working. That was kind of a big deal by itself, but he also confirmed Mob C details, a mob that wasn't one of the main, the one that was added to the game. We learned how big Mob C was going to be, we learned how Mob B would work, we learned a bunch of other details about the game, coral half stabs, all these other things were confirmed from this one post that was just a leak from Jeb Conversation, and that's crazy that one conversation with Jeb, one leak like that, can confirm so much about the game, and it really did. And not only did it, confirm all of these features, but also because the community was so unhappy with, again, the update that made Steve temporarily paralytic in his left arm, people were so upset with that they decided to actually backtrack on it, and Jeb has now said that he hears the community's response, and he's likely not going to be doing that in the future. So yeah, this leak changed the the path of Minecraft history, but it's not quite as big, in my opinion, as the 4th biggest leak, which is TU19. So this is a console-specific leak, so I know if you don't play console, maybe you don't remember this, or maybe you didn't play back then, but basically TU19 was the first update, or content update, that was going to be coming out since TU14, which was March of that year, March 26th, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, in March of that year, TU14 came out, and that was already after a long period of not that many updates, and then there was I think it was 8 months, almost 9-month delay between that update and TU19. So that's why this was such a huge deal, because even, in early December, we didn't know much about this next update, when it'd be releasing. We had some idea that would contain horses, but that was about it. However, at this PlayStation Next event, they had a huge event for an anniversary of PlayStation. The 4J Studios guys were there, and again, one person had a conversation with the developers. They got a, they played the update there, which was kind of a big deal, but they got the release date for TU19, as well as the confirmed list of features. So I have a video from around the time where, I went through, these leaked screenshots of seeing the creative menus, and it's like, wow, there's gonna be 3 updates in one. This huge update was being developed. We then learned everything inside the update. We learned it was gonna be coming out in December, and it was like this big, huge Christmas gift kind of a thing where it's like, this leak has confirmed something amazing. This, the update was admittedly meant to be this, Christmas surprise, but the fact that we got it leaked early was such a huge deal for the community at the time, because again, I feel like if this update hadn't come out, Minecraft Console Edition probably wouldn't have a community at that point. There'd be just a year without updates, and people would be like, well, I guess let's move on to another version. But yeah, this leak was such a huge deal for the community at the time, and maybe you don't remember it, maybe you don't care about the console, but it's something I wanted to mention because it's still one of the big leaks of all time in my head, but it's not as big as the 3rd biggest leak of all time, which again is console edition specific, but it's to do with battle modes. So on the PC and I guess the server editions of the game, you can go on a server, you can play the Hunger Games anytime you want. However, the console editions of the game still do not have servers, they have mini-games built in instead. However, before these mini-games came out, the idea of mini-games coming to console was always this fantasy. People always suggested oh, Hunger Games would be great, but for the first 4 years it was out, it never happened, and it was presumed it never would. And then in March of that year, they actually, March again always comes up, but basically in March of that year, they added something to one of the updates just in the background, and all of this code came out. So I can show you the code on the screen right now, but it basically says stuff like, oh yeah, players will have to survive with, find chests with armor, food, and etc. survive. It basically, it said the Hunger Games, but in basic text, and that was found within the code, just the text side of things though. And it seems so suspicious to me that only the text was in the game. It seemed like, maybe the modders were just having a joke, or, something like that. It didn't seem like it was a real thing, but then what do you know, a couple of months later, there's actually a battle mode. I actually got to test it before then, and then the second part of the leak, because not only was the main game itself leaked, but then again, later down the line, one of the PlayStation executives visited, 4J Studios, and he accidentally said, oh yeah, looking forward to the next update, and also battle mode, and he accidentally confirmed that was real, and that's crazy to me that, a whole mini-game was confirmed through the code, and then accidentally leaked in person as well. 2 big leaks for one mini-game, but it's not quite as big as the next leak, because the next leak is something which confirms that Sony is not playing ball in the right way. So basically, at Minecon last year, Minecon 2016 now, that's like an old Minecon I guess these days, but in Minecon 2016, at the ending ceremony, the Minecraft Twitter account tweeted out a bunch of announcements from that weekend. They tweeted out new updates, they tweeted out this and that, and they also tweeted out a screenshot saying soon Minecraft will be able to play together, and then they tweeted out the screenshot, the infamous now screenshot, which has Android phone, a Windows 10 PC, a PS4 controller, and an Xbox One controller. And you might say, what's so weird about that? Well, it has a PS4 controller in there, and the basic gist of the idea was that all 4 platforms could play together. And indeed, their goal was to announce this clearly, and for all 4 platforms to play together, because later on, earlier this year, I think it was a year after that actually, it took them to make it work, but they now have a system where Xbox, Windows 10, and Pocket Edition all play together. The Better Together update came out. However, Sony has specifically said they are blocking this. They don't want to play ball. They've specifically, not given reasons for it besides, oh yeah, player safety. And, whenever they're backed up on that, they're like, oh, and that's not really the case. We're just pretending. Basically, Sony has made up a bunch of BS to defend this decision. And the fact that at one point they were on board, or presumed to be on board, is pretty nuts to me. Also, I think it's crazy that this image only included, Xbox One, PS4, Windows 10 on phones, and then later down the line, Nintendo, who they weren't expecting to say yes, did say yes in the end. And basically, what I'm saying is this confirmed what was going to be the future of Minecraft, and now the future of Minecraft is the same, except instead of PlayStation 4 controllers, there is a Switch instead, which is wacky, and it just goes to show how crazy different things are. And also, this leak basically shames Sony, because at one point they said yes, or at one point they were presumed to say yes, and then they backed out at the last second, which again, it's like an extra layer of shame to like, Sony has acted like really, I'd say dishonorably in this one, or like disingenuously, or like, they're not giving real reasons. They have some clear goal where they're like, oh, we might make more money somehow if like, we don't allow this, but basically, Sony really just hurt their own branding on this one, and they're still sticking to the same line, and I like that a leak like this comes out and actually reveals that what it is, because again, they hid behind the idea of like, oh, we're trying to protect the children, and it's like, so you think Microsoft and Nintendo aren't, or like, this and that, and basically, I love when something comes out to shame a response. When people are lying, it's a bad thing. I think lying is one of the universally disliked things, and this leak confirmed that. However, the biggest leak of all time, in my opinion, is one that is so huge, it changed how Minecraft fundamentally released updates to this day on all platforms. So basically, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the snapshot system. So how did the snapshot system come from a leak? So when Minecraft 1.8 was still being developed, and it was going to be the 1.0 version of the game eventually, when Minecraft was working on the final release, this was a huge deal. They accidentally uploaded it onto a server. The server was insecure, and someone leaked the file from Minecraft 1.8 before it came out onto the internet, about a week before, and this was such a big deal because they're working on this huge release, the first update in months. They've been working on this one update for a really long time, and then someone leaks it, so they lose that thing. So what they did instead is they decided, wait a minute, if this many people have the update anyway, rather than trying to stop that, we can't, we're an indie game company, why not just release it ourselves a few days early and make it like a pre-release? That way they released the pre-release, and they could fix all the bugs that people found in the pre-release for the main update. And this was something that was so popular and made the main update less buggy than previous ones that they figured, why not do this for future updates going forwards? And that is the reason we have snapshots in Minecraft to this day. That is the reason we have beta updates on the Bedrock version. Because of this one leak all the way back when, there is now snapshots on Minecraft PC, and there is beta updates on Minecraft Bedrock, and that is crazy to me that, like, again, it's almost like a tiny little thing turns this huge thing into history. And I love this sort of thing in any context, where like one small decision from one person, or one small like tiny little gear in the cog of history or the machinery of history can change everything. And in the case of Minecraft's history, all it took was for one Minecraft file to accidentally get out there in the wild to now create the system of snapshots, which again, most players like, most players enjoy, and which gives us the more open development platform for Minecraft, which you don't really see in any other game. With that said though, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. Like if you did like it, because it helps out the channel. Let's know you do like this sort of thing. Share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe with notifications turned on, then you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!